Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards Breaking News. We got some Discovery news
We do.
today, and it's new casting information. So
And it's not just new casting, it's a familiar name. And a familiar face, at least to some people. Yep, James Frain, and he's going to play Sarek. And we know that name, don't we, Stuart?
we do. That's actually Spock's father. For anyone out there that doesn't know what we're talking about, but I think that's a good thing. I'm actually excited to hear that. That means there's going to be tie-in with actual people we know already, canonical characters, which has been rumored. Whether we're going to see younger versions of our heroes like Kirk and Spock is still debatable, but I'm hoping we do.
Yeah, I
But
think we'll.
I think having him in there is a great tie-in. He's been in TNG, TOS. He's a big main player. He's been in some of the movies, so that's a great
Yes,
addition.
Sarek, obviously, he made such a. The original Mark Leonard made such an impression in Balance of Terror, they brought him in for Sarek, who then, appeared in that one episode, and then I think 3 movies, if not 4. Definitely one of our favourite Vulcans. I think he really captured what it is to be a Vulcan. Appeared on TNG twice, even died on TNG, spoilers. And then was obviously in the 2009 movie, and I think Into Darkness. Not a bad casting, not great, not bad, but I mean, Mark Leonard was iconic. This actor's certainly younger by quite a lot. I would say I would say he's actually around the age of Mark Leonard when he first took on the role. But because we look younger in general now, I mean, I always say compare the first Doctor to Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi is older. He looks younger because of modern technology and just we look younger. So he's probably in that same vein, although it does certainly give me that small vibe. There's a great skit in Stargate where they bring 20s to play the cast. It's like the new young people. It does feel like the new young recasting. But obviously Mark Leonard has passed away and he'll be too old anyway. So I mean, what do you think? I sort of rambled there. What do you think about this casting?
I think it's great. I mean, I don't really know the actor's work too much. I do know he was on Gotham. He played a really awesome character. Um, and I can't remember the character's name. I think it's Azrael. But yeah, I really enjoyed him on that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He has the look for Sarek, for sure.
He's kind of got a pointier face. He has got a bit, and you can imagine when the picture they use on StarTrek.com, you put those ears to be pointy. That's like, yes, he's got the right
Yeah,
sort of look.
yeah. So I'm excited to see that. And the fact that he's an ambassador and a diplomat is interesting
Yeah,
because I think it's going to tie in with the main storyline. Obviously, there's something going on.
yeah.
I don't know if he's just going to be in the first episode or how they're going to incorporate him or how often they're going to use him, which is going to be interesting to see as well.
Well,
We don't want to lean too heavily on other characters, kind of like
one thing that this show gives us, we can see, you know, extra nuance to that Spock Sarek relationship. We saw it from Spock's side, but what if Sarek talks about how proud he is of his son that he never tells him until the mind meld gets transferred between Picard and whatever. You can see the other side of the coin a little bit. That could be quite interesting, and Sarek was one of the most important diplomats of all time. So that I think it's a great announcement, and as a Vulcan character, there's so much to work with there. He married a human, 2 humans in fact. That's pretty.
mhm.
I mean, there's a lot there.
Well, that opens up an interesting possibility. Perhaps the first episode of Discovery, he's actually on his way back to Vulcan, and Discovery just happens to be going his way. Maybe that's why he's on board. He was visiting one of Amanda's relatives on Earth. Something, I don't know. There's so many possible
Yeah,
tie-ins.
it's
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they use it, but hopefully they don't abuse it.
in terms of the actor. I recognise the face more than I do his performances, if that makes sense. I've gone through his IMDb and I know a few of these things, but primarily I know him from the Tudors. So a little while ago, but he played Cromwell, and he does a lot, and he's actually quite slimy, and he had a good performance there. Sort of underdone, but
Yeah.
controlling and sort of.
He tends to play, even in Gotham, he plays bad guys that you really kind of like in a weird way. You don't actually
Yeah.
hate them for being a bad guy. They got this nice part, and he's a great actor. But to go from playing bad guys primarily, which I think is basically what it is, to playing Sarek is interesting.
Well, he plays. I mean, like I said, Tudors. He's not a bad guy per se, but he's certainly not a good guy. But he's an antagonist with some humanity, and in fact, you look at Vulcans, you could almost argue they've got that, harsh shell, but they've got humanity inside them at least, that Spock does, and you could sort of maybe
they have a hard candy shell but a soft nougat inside.
They're like onions, but with a little sweet inside, a little pink sweet. It's very tasty. No, maybe this will be the chance to see that Sarek actually dealt with some of the same problems that Spock did. It'd be nice to have that lineage. Again, don't use and abuse, but it's one of those things where you appreciate a fresh face. Like the new Star Wars film, all these people are unknowns. Therefore, you can now think of them as these characters. You bring in a known actor. Like if you bring in Danny DeVito to be a Starfleet engineer, you're gonna see Danny DeVito. You're not gonna see Starfleet engineer. So I will see this actor, even if he's in a uniform, as a face I already knew. But at the same time, I think he'll give a great performance.
Yeah, and the interesting thing I just realized is we reported earlier that there was a touchstone to Balance of Terror. And ironically enough, Mark Leonard played the Romulan commander in that, so maybe he'll play a Romulan too. I don't know. It popped in my head last second there. So
maybe that was Sarek the whole time.
Maybe
we had to recover him. Maybe that's the whole plot: is recover Sarek from the pre-Balance of Terror incident.
And that's why Spock wanted to do the unification with the Romulans, because his father was secretly a Romulan. My God! Can you imagine the possibilities? The controversy, the scandal? Anyway, I think that's enough for this episode of Breaking News. Looking forward to seeing what this guy can do, and it's great to have Sarek as a character in the show, so I'm excited. So
Absolutely.
Until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Guns.
And we will continue the Discovery, looking for new information about Discovery for you guys. See you later.
Bye, guys.